All right, so this week your assignment is kind of a big one because this is our first big assignment that deals with the elements of art. So last week we talked about the element of art line and how the definition of line is a dot that went for a walk. So today I'm going to give you the assignment that goes with that big element. Okay. So the assignment that you guys are going to work on this week, that'll be due next week, which I think is March 9th. I'd have to double check though. Um, is going to be a name project where you write your name in the middle of your paper like this, and then you're going to put Zentangles all around your name. So you're only going to leave a really thin little white area around your name, and everything else is going to be Zentangled in. Okay, so I went through and I wrote down a few things that you have to have when you do this. So the first thing is that you must have at least 15 Zentangles. More would be better, but 15 or more Zentangles have to be on your project. And as a class, we've practiced like 12. I think we've practiced over 15, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But you might have to look up a few Zentangle ideas on Google to come up with a couple more that you're good at. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to write your name using a line or lines in the center of your page. So you can see I wrote mine. It says Mrs. Birchmeyer, and you'll notice that I used kind of a cursive style because I wanted it to look like a line or a series of lines that my name was made out of. And I went through and did a couple examples. So if my name were Samantha, I could do a single line and make my name in cursive, make it look all nice and neat so everything's connected. You'll notice that my lines go off the edge of the page and they start on the other edge of the page. Just it makes it look a little bit better when you're doing your Zentangle design. Or you could do this style. So this, I chose the name Hank and I wrote it out. You'll notice this line goes off the edge of the page, and some of the letters, like the N, it's just made up of lines. So it's not all connecting. Either way you do it is fine. I just kind of wanted to point those out. And you'll notice that on my example, you'll see a change in the thickness of lines. So some of the lines I chose to beef up and make a little fatter, and some of the lines are skinnier. So if you look at the B, this line is really skinny, and this line gets kind of fat in some parts. And that creates a little bit more of an interesting look. So if you wanted to do that, I'll show you quickly how you could do it. So I think I have a Sharpie marker. Here's one. Okay, so if my name is Samantha, I've drawn it all out first with a really thin Sharpie pen. You could use a Sharpie marker, but just notice that when you first draw it out, it's going to be thin. And then let's say I want to make my M look like it's 3D. Maybe I will make each one of these lines that comes down just a little bit thicker and color it in like that. And it looks so cool. So if I did that to the whole name and just kind of changed some parts of the lines and made them thicker, some thinner, that would be nice. So this one, this line comes up. Maybe I want it to get fatter around the curves. So if I went through and I just made all the curves a little bit beefier, like that. Maybe down here I'll do the same thing. Okay, it's already looking a little bit cooler, but what if I continued that and made it thicker back here too? And you'll see it does take a little bit of time, but it looks so much cooler than it did to start with. So don't be afraid to play around with that and make your letters pop out a little bit more. It'll give your letters a little bit of contrast, make it look really interesting, and it'll help to make your name pop with all those crazy Zentangles all around your name. Because when you put Zentangles all around your name, it's going to be really hard to see your name unless it pops out. So that's what I did on my example on this page. The next thing you're going to do after you have it drawn out is you're going to create a border for your name. So inside of this border is going to be white. Everything on the outside is going to be Zentangled. And when you're Zentangling, you really want your project to end up being about 50% black and 50% white like this. So just keep that in mind while you're working. So you're going to go ahead, make a border, and then on the outside of your border, you're going to break up this space into smaller pieces to draw your Zentangle designs into. And you can do this however you like. You just want to make sure you have lots of little areas to work with. And then remember, I talked about you have to have 15 different Zentangle patterns inside of your final copy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 in this project. So that'll be easy to do because there are 17 little pieces. So you could go ahead and fill that in and you would have a beautiful, fantastic, amazing Zentangle project. Okay, so I think that's kind of cool. And this is going to be what the project looks like when you're finished. You can use any Zentangles that you like for the outside of your, one second. Drake, silent, please. For the outside of your Zentangle. And this project is actually going to be part of our art show. So I'll see if I can find it. If I can show you our art show so far. And the art show is a Google Slides document that I'm making, and it will be sent out to all of the teachers and all of the parents and all of the students. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. All right, so it looks like this Fenton AGS art show, and it has some info, and then you'll see there's me and my project. So you'll each get your own page to have your project displayed on in this presentation. So it's kind of really cool. So make sure you're doing a good job on your Zentangle designs. Okay, that is this week's assignment. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all.